CMPradio.net, man. We are live on this beautiful Jumu'ah Friday. We are here. Here's your host, Ummpa Abdul Wakkil.
Good morning, brothers. Good morning, everybody.
And I'm in the background. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And to everybody
Man.
who tunes in, who listens. Finding humility through change, huh?
Finding humility in change.
In change, through change.
Through change. Around change. Not around. Not around. We want to go straight.
Some change.
You want to go straight through change.
Gotta make it.
It's hard.
A struggle. As they say, the struggle is
Real.
Sheesh.
It is.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that are compounded on top of change or remaining the same, right? Mm-hmm. We have, addiction to women, behaviors, attitudes, how other people, and listen, you are an individual, a uniquely made individual. No matter how many times your parents try, they cannot recreate you. You can have
nobody else can be you.
You can have a twin and he still not be you.
Two separate fingerprints.
So,
and you stand on the scale, just you.
You
by yourself.
By yourself. So when you think about all the challenges we have in life, all of the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the arounds, what makes it possible to change? What gives a person or people
bringing me
anything?
To my subject
Yeah. What drives a person to change? Why do they change?
I really, honestly, I want to say I don't think any of us ready for the true answer to that question, but inshallah, we're going to try to answer it. We're going to try, because the point is to get to change, get to it, make it to it, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. I asked God Almighty and Majestic to guide our words, to guide our intentions, to make us or myself as sincere as I can be. I just want to help myself and others. And today's topic is a really, really, really sensitive one for me. And I know it's a sensitive one for all of you out there, but it got to be talked about sometimes. If the moral of the whole situation is to find change or get humble enough to change, well, let's talk about it, right? Addiction. Being an addict or being addicted to something that's stomping your growth, that's holding you back, that's killing your soul or your heart. We all have an addiction to something, be it women, be it drugs, be it music, but it's something other than, I gotta be frank, it's my thing, I'm not forcing religion on nobody, but something other than His Majesty. And that's what he says He created us for, and to recognize His mercy, His favor, His grace, and live in that realm, in that marginal line, in between hope and fear, but all the while never letting go of His Majesty. It's when we let go of that rope, that sustenance that comes from Him, awareness of His Majesty, that we find ourselves looking for or searching in or stuck on or addicted to other things, trying to find only what He gives, right? And it creates a void in the heart. For me, I go back, I go back 20 years ago, probably more than that, Allahu Alam. I was, like everybody else, come from the hood. We go through our situations, and one of the rules of the game is, never get high on your own supply, right? And that's how you get money. But you find yourself addicted to things, and I ran into my addiction, and as I was young too, man. Woo. And I want to talk about it because I want to talk about how I found change and how I got out.
Right.
Because it's still, some of us still stuck in it.
Stuck in it.
Like cement feet.
I think people like being stuck.
Yeah.
In where they at, right? Because it's comfortable for them, right? And when you change, everything around you becomes uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the first week of work.
What?
Your body be tore up.
First week of work, the first situation in a new situation, like change does not feel good, but it does good.
It's necessary.
It's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Right? And we can't continue to run from it. So if anyone's dealing with any type of addiction right now.
Yeah, man, I'll help you. Man,
Yes. Right?
Yeah. They go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We look for, once an addict, you're always an addict. You never lose that mentality. And if you get up, stay up. Don't look down. Don't, ever get up. They ever get up people who are afraid of heights. They tell you don't look down because you see how you jump, give up. You can't believe you got there. But again, I want to go back to the beginning. I found myself, addicted to my drug of choice, at the time. And, you don't realize it's a problem until it become a problem.
Absolutely.
And it, you do it sometimes in the open, but the worst is the one when you hiding it from the people you love. Right. You don't want them to see you in that regard. You get full of shame. You die inside of your heart, and you put on a facade for the world.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What was your drug of choice?
I got addicted to coke. I
needed it.
I was around it. No,
it was a cape.
Around it. I was around it. It's all over the place.
Right.
And I one thing is peer pressure.
Absolutely.
You got
people
around you that's already ahead of you
right.
on it. And misery loves company.
But when you're dealing with cocaine, it's not just misery loves company, but misery loves someone that isn't as addicted as I am, because you're gonna have it, and when I don't have it, you'll have it, right? So we gonna stick around each other, because there's no time where none of us will have it.
It's crazy because you know what? Coke is a light drug these days.
It is.
In comparison to some of the things that are 15, 16, 14, 13, they addicted to these fake Percocets. I don't want to get into all that right now. We're gonna come to that.
Absolutely.
But
later on.
Yeah, I found myself, I like to call it a DOC because it's just a drug is a drug.
Drug of choice, right.
A drug is a drug. If it's not, again, if you're not addicted to feel life and having life in your body good, they get high off of life, then you on something else. And that's not good. You should be addicted to being a good person, be addicted to, helping other people, be addicted to, inshallah, wanting a heaven for yourself and your family.
Absolutely.
If that's not in your heart and in your mind, like if heaven's not real to you, life probably not real to you either.
So
that's my opinion.
I've dealt with addiction twice.
Okay.
First, I was young. My father died again when I was 12.
Okay.
I searching for somebody. I ended up hanging out with my cousin, and used to put cocaine on the weed.
Yeah, we did. That's how it started.
That's how.
That's how it started. Lace.
But I never, ever wanted to put anything up my nose. You understand what I'm saying?
Until you.
No, I never did.
Alhamdulillah for
yes,
that.
Yes.
Or a needle in my arm.
Or a needle in my arm, right?
I know.
And the reason I didn't was because I saw what other people were dealing with. People would sell their child. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
we gonna get there.
To get high.
Yeah, that's
the only thing I have of any value.
Wow.
I'm gonna sell it. I don't have any money. I don't have
without any no
remorse at all, right? They would sell their kids Christmas off. One lady pulled up one time and whole Christmas, and my cousin said to me, he said, "You're not built for this life, bro." I said, "Why?" He was like, "Cause you just bought that from
somebody else's dreams.
You gave her what she wanted. So how much do you want?"
Wow.
She's like, $200. I said, $200 cash, or you want $200 in product? She was like, you can mix it up. I gave her $200 in product and $50 in cash, right? And then I followed her home.
Wow.
And took the toys to the kids, knocked on the door.
Big
the
up.
next, here go y'all Christmas, right? I caught somebody coming in. I didn't even tell them. I caught somebody coming out your window with y'all stuff. They was in there crying, bro. Like I said, one little boy was crying.
I was saying that yesterday, man. People steal from you and help you look for what they stole from you.
I've done that.
Heartless.
I've done that. I was heartless.
That's heartless.
You feel me? Like stole from somebody. I'm like, oh no, let's look for it. Who? Yeah, I don't know. But
this addiction, though. It's all in addiction.
And that's where I was.
And how do we get out of it? You know, get to the root of it. You know, because we ain't got that much time, and we could talk about addiction and addictive behaviors, but you know, how it worked for me was you get tired, you get to you lie to yourself and say that you done 1,000 times, but when your heart gets tired of not being normal or part of the norm, and you see people getting away from you, don't want nothing to do with you, can't trust you, don't want to talk to you, you're losing everything and everywhere, even your children, you know, afraid to tell you the truth, you know, how you appear now. Right. They, you know, our loved ones, one of my family members told me, bro, I'd rather not be around you for the rest of my life if I have to, other than see you the way you are in your state right now. He caught me in my bag. I was geeked out. Start crying on me. He broke, like you be around tough OGs to see you like that. It hurt people to see you
like that.
Right. You know, and we gotta really look in the mirror sometimes, you know, and get rid of that arrogance, you know, when they tricking per se. They think in their minds they okay and they look good. Can't tell them nothing. She a whole Kardashian, you know. But what it was you get to that nothingness, and nothing you do, as far as your drug of choice is concerned, I can be piled up to the sky. It'll never, ever, ever fill that void of heart. I learned that the hard way. You try to, you know, ignore the pain that you're causing. You try to ignore the destruction of yourself by increasing it. Because
it takes you away from reality, right? The more you use a drug, the less in touch with reality you are. And I didn't realize it until I got locked up.
Then you blame God.
Oh, no, I was high. I didn't blame anybody but myself, right? Because I'm like, damn, I should have stayed in the house. I've never blamed God for anything that I have done, right? Regardless. Some people do.
Why you let this happen to me? I can't believe it. You know, I cry out to you and nothing happens.
I blamed him for things I had nothing to do with. My father dying, my grandmother dying, right?
Misunderstandings.
You know, misunderstandings, you feel me? But when I got locked up, I was high as shit. You feel me? Like,
me and you both.
30 dimes in my pocket. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and
lost.
And I had no drawers on. We talked about this. You feel me? I was in the house. I was chilling. I didn't have to come outside, bro. I came outside. I called my man. He said, yo, I'm down the way. I said, all right, I'm coming down and holler at you. You feel me? Just go down there. I just rented a car for my sister. Gonna give it to her for her birthday. Let her ride around in it. You feel me? And I went down there, and the police pulled up. You feel me? And I pulled off. And they pulled me over for no lights. You feel me?
You knew it was a robbery.
But it was certain. It was it was like certain things that led up to the whole situation.
What's crazy is we cry out for help when
Right.
we buyers. You know, they say life will beat you down to your knees, and we're
Right.
better positioned than to pray.
Absolutely.
So you're in them positions like, you get me out of this. I promise I'll never do it
Right,
again, and
right.
this and that. Sometimes getting locked up or getting put in situations where you can't get to your drug of choice
Right.
is him saving you or
Yeah.
answering your
Yeah,
prayers.
but we don't always see it that way, right?
Don't want to.
Why-
Pride.
So I got locked up.
Yeah.
And listen, until I turned myself in to actually go upstate, I was still using my drug of choice because I didn't realize what I was doing, right? So the day before I turned myself in, I was done. Smoking all day, chilling in the house, drinking. Turned myself in,
Yeah.
and they said they're gonna give you a drug test. I said, hold.
Melt the cup.
They said if you fail the drug test,
Yeah.
they're gonna extend your sentence from a 1.5 to 3 to a 3 to 6. You
Yeah.
talking about being scared?
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
But listen,
Yeah.
I went in there and I laid in the cell, bro. I went to sleep. I slept for 3
Trying to
days.
escape it.
I slept for 3 days, bro. And then they called me and said I was going upstate.
Wow. And then some of us, right, you get in those situations, because I've been in that situation, you get in the cell, you try to sleep it off,
Right.
you try to ignore
Right.
the rush of, damn,
Right. 3 to 6.
it's over, right?
3 to 6.
And then you see somebody shivering, won't eat, on the toilet, in a worse situation than you.
Right.
And you're asking, I saw it countless times.
Too many times.
Young kids,
Yeah,
too, young
yeah,
bucks,
yeah.
19, 20, addicted to heroin, almost dying in the cell, and nobody coming to save you.
Nobody. If you die, you die.
That's how they feel.
That's how they feel.
You put yourself in that situation, which is true.
Right.
But
Get out of it.
in your addictive mind, you think you better than that person.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't on what they on.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, not thinking to let it go. I might as well take the opportunity to change and become something better. Again, it's for me, and now I want to get to how we get out of it. You know, you think it's fun. You think it's all fun and games until you get to that bottom. You get to that empty feeling of having enough. I'm done. I need to be done with, I need to change. When you get to the bottom, when you get there, the book say, alhamdulillah, O ye who believe, enter into your faith wholeheartedly. And nothing changes if nothing changes. I'm quote, but now I'm on to another quote. Nothing changes if nothing changes, they were saying. And Allah won't change the condition of a people if and until you change what's inside of yourself first. Right? And for me, I had to really, really look inside of myself and say I was actually done with it. You know what I mean? And that's when Allah started helping me. That's when I started seeing this good, actually seeing it. Even if I didn't like it, oh, you who believe, you might hate a thing that's actually good for you. In locked up or away from that drug of choice, by force sometimes or stupidity, it's the best thing for you. And it wasn't until I surrendered, you got to surrender and admit that you got a problem to yourself and openly talk about it and get it out and find yourself and get yourself some good help, around some good people, and consistently keep your head in prayer and asking God to, get it away from you. Like really, really, really want to be done with it.
Please.
You know what I mean? Compare, yourself to in your situation now to who you can be or who you remember yourself being at your best. And make that a goal again. You know what I mean? Make that a goal. Man, you ever look in the mirror and see yourself, your eyes all sunk in and your nails, you dirty from your soul out, from the inside out, just a filthy individual. Like you can't keep the truth. You can't tell the truth. It's like you're lying to yourself and who you are and everybody else. You just like become a nothing. I don't know about nobody else, but that feeling, that
hurts.
Man, that's one thing. And another thing is letting everybody that loves you down. They see potential in you. You got to see potential in yourself. You got to really, really, really wholeheartedly surrender and say to yourself, I got a problem. I need to stop. I don't want to face my Lord like this, because death
is right around the corner.
And that makes it faster. When you lock yourself in somewhere trying to hide from your addiction from the world, and you got a big pile of whatever it is you got there in front of you.
Horse manure.
My cousin Shamar, God rest his soul, he tried to hide his addiction, or we try to hide our addictions from people, and that's where they found him at. And it broke our heart, because you think you got it together. I got this. I don't need no help. I'm okay. Because again, Shaitan will fool you and see somebody else on a worse drug than you, and you think you got yours together.
I got that together. I ain't nothing like him.
All I do is snort.
Right.
They shooting it up.
Right.
I'm cool. I'm all. I ain't doing. Lie.
Pop your heart.
A drug is a drug. If it takes your mind away and your heart away from focusing on on faith, be real.
Can you really blame anybody for wanting that escape? Thinking the way we live and the way our situations are set up.
Okay.
Can you blame anyone for wanting that escape? Because people understand. I think people get how hard it is to live this life without any vices. Like I said, I've fought addiction twice. Okay. Once it was the cocaine and the weed. Came home, then it became the Percocets. Yeah. You feel me? And
alcohol is worse than all drugs. By the way.
And alcohol, but I just feel like I can quit. You understand what I'm saying? I know I can.
Only a little bit.
I know I can. Right? When I drink, I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm just drinking to relax,
but it leads
calm
to other
down.
stuff.
Right? It definitely does.
Every time.
If other stuff are readily accessible. So what I had to do was remove myself from places where that other stuff was at. You know what I mean? I had to remove myself and just
ball it all up.
All of it, right? And I'm understanding that now.
Yeah, me too.
Today, it makes sense. But then when I was going through it, it was like, all right, well, I'm done with that. I could do this, right? I'm done with that. Well, I could do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't smoked weed since 2006. Like every day. Now I might take a puff every now and then just to lose, because
we relapse
because you understand, right? You understand you need something to loosen up everything that's in your head, because it just comes in and it gets compounded it already has cement on it. So when you bringing in knowledge and bringing in information and bringing in understanding people, it just all gets blocked off in your head. And when I smoke, that's just like somebody just sprayed something on it that kills cement, and everything loosens up and it becomes, and I'm able to move it together the way I want to, right? That's me personally, right? Other people are different.
Yeah.
So
I want my prayer. See, I straightforward.
Right.
Iqra, right? The read in the name of your Lord, was the first commandment sent to our messenger. And he asked him, what you want me to read? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. You got to know. You got to read and learn. And when I read and learned that if you intoxicated on something, your prayers are not answered because you're not giving him his full respect. You know what I mean? And you send a prayer up and it's not answered, that's, for me, that it kind of did something to me. Like, I'm praying, I want my prayers to be answered. I want God to hear me. I want to help other people. I want to help myself. I need help. And in order to get help from my situation, I got to give it all up. You got to give something up in order to get something. And if the one thing that's stopping you from getting the one thing that you need the most, and that's help and away from your addiction, then you got to surrender. Right? It's the first step is to surrender and admit that you got a problem, whatever it is that you addicted to. Gambling, drugs, whatever it is, you got to really, really realize this, I got a problem. And some people look at a whole lot of money as being successful, and that you made it, and that you can do drugs now, or that you can have these addictions because you have a lot of money. You know, some of the poorest people I know are the ones with money. because it makes you arrogant, it makes you blind, it makes you naive to your own, I want to say, shit stinking. Allah forgive me. So again, for me, and I can only talk, I want to talk about how I got up. You know, I'm talking about what led me to really, you know, enjoying my sober life. Remembering where I came from, how I came out. So I had to surrender and admit that I really, because countless times I thought I had it together and fell apart again. And I kept falling. What is it that's making me go back? It was, I didn't give my whole heart to wanting to change. I didn't really humble myself, you know, find the humility through change. I didn't really humble myself and really give in. I didn't give myself a chance to change. Soon as I felt uncomfortable, I'm grabbing a cigarette, I'm grabbing right back to it. Soon as I feel angry or I'm making excuses, you gotta really, and I was sitting in a room one time with a bunch of addicts, me being one of them, and the guy came in and asked you, what makes you use? And everybody went around the room and asked him, you know, I'll be mad. My parents gave up on me, I lost my son, I lost my house, and everybody had it. They all excuses. They all excuses for you. You know, all you got to do is say no.
No.
It's the simplicity in it that makes it so hard for us to let go of things. Anyway.
And some people will say that's easy for you, right? To say no. It's not as easy for me because of the way our bodies are function, right? There's a chemical process that takes place when we want something, when we receive something, and how it triggers the brain, right? So for some people they feel as though they can't be who they are without it, right?
That's crazy.
They feel like they're the best. You ever heard of a drunk person say, I drive better when I'm drunk?
He thought he was the you know, God MC when he was high on his. He admitted it himself, and then he found out you don't need that stuff to be great. You're great without it. You're better probably without it.
You just need to believe in yourself, not the drug. Believe in yourself and not the drug.
Man, listen, I don't know about nobody else, but ain't no life without God, without His Majesty. And as long as we ignore it, put it off to the side, put it on the back burner, and try to substitute it sometimes, most of the time, on Sundays, on birthdays, and you know, you want to pick it up when you want to pick it up, Shaitan gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink at you to make sure you don't get to it.
Yeah, he been throwing it at me.
Everything in the kitchen sink to make sure, and one of them is pride and arrogance. I ain't dumb. I don't need to change. Y'all got a problem. I don't got a problem.
Right.
It's surrendering it and admitting that you got, and then taking that, you know, that fragile heart, because it's not easy admitting. You know, it ain't easy swallowing your pride and admitting that you know, I got a problem. I'm addicted. You know, an embarrassment that, you know, like the man we was talking about last week who was disobeying the law for 40 years, and he found out it was because of him that his whole situation wouldn't change. His kids was hungry. You know, people that's addicted, you sell the meat out the freezer.
Right.
Like you were just saying, that whole Christmas was gone. Right? You don't realize that it's because of you that other people are suffering. So it's not easy to admit that, you know, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Right? But when you do get the heart to admit and look in the mirror and surrender wholeheartedly, inshallah, right? You got to take that heart to His Majesty. That's when your faith is at its best. At the bottom, when you feeling alone, like Joseph at the bottom of the well. When his own people tried to get rid of him, right, and they threw him in the bottom of the well, it's a whole shorter explanation in where they said even the angel Gabriel came down and was at the bottom of the well with him. You gotta think, damn, my own brothers threw me down here. My own family kicking me and, you know, talking bad about me and disrespect. Everybody go through it. You're a stranger when you want to pawn something great. You're a stranger when you know, finally lift yourself up, because some people see potential in you and to feed you your drug of choice to keep you off the block, per se, or to keep you from your greatness, because you're probably a better rapper or a better entrepreneur or a better something than them. So they make sure they tell you ain't never going to be nothing, you know, and they try to keep you down. So Yusuf, at the bottom of the well, you know, imagine yourself there and put yourself in his shoes. Alayhi salatu wassalam. You know what I mean? And you take, that's when your faith, man, they say when you at the bottom, it ain't nowhere else to go but up. When you at the bottom, it ain't nowhere. And that's when your heart is open.
That's when it should be open.
And you give it to God. Man, I'm telling you, I'll be the first, man. Your life changes. And when you start seeing those changes, you're going to want more and more and more. And before you know it, 10 years will go by, and you look back and say, damn, I got through it.
Right.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
I'm better off without it.
Absolutely.
Him, them, this, that, whatever it was. And you realize, man, the experience, you learn how to read faces, you learn how to, like, I learned so much in my sobriety. It's not easy, but it's worth it. You gotta love yourself and really, you gotta love Allah, but you gotta really love yourself and wanna, you know, get that toxic person out of you, that second face, because God only created us with one heart, but you put a second face in there, you put a second one in there when you throw drugs at it, or you throw a drug of choice or something other than His Majesty. It's a wholeheartedly surrender your heart. But if you giving half your heart, a piece of your heart, or most of your heart to something other than His Majesty, then that's the object of the destruction. And that's why you can't get over the humps we was talking about. You get so far, you get to a certain limit, and you can't get past it.
Right.
You run back to your drug of choice, or you run back to your hypocrisy, or you run back to your idol, or whatever it is that you worshiping or giving your devotion to other than His Majesty. And that was me. That's how I fell, and I kept falling. And then the worst are the hypocrites, because some of us know better. How many times you gotta go to jail to realize that you get off the block?
A lot of us know better.
How many times you gotta go to jail or you know, I seen people get shot and you right back on the block, limping on the same block, talking the same trash. You don't even know who shot you. Your own people came around and got you off the block. But we so naive and hypocritical because we gotta get that fix. We gotta get to whatever it is that we putting before His Majesty at the expense of even losing your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It ain't worth it.
Absolutely.
It ain't worth it. Can you imagine the shame that some children feel? Another thing is to think of your children, to think of the people that you love. Like, it's stories, countless stories where, you know, you come home from a hard day's work and you don't know that your loved one is on these drugs. And you come in the house, and you go to, you know, hey, say what's up to them, and they laid out on the bed with a needle stuck in their arm. Know how painful that is? Your mom, you walk in on your mom, she, you know, sees you're in the, you know, ODing on something, and you gotta be the one to find your loved one like that and not even know. You feel cheated, you feel hurt, you feel pain. Yo, wake up. It's a reality. Gotta surrender your whole heart and get rid of that substance and replace it with His Majesty's rule. You know, I would suggest, for me, you know, the first 2 steps, they say is 12, and I tried the 12-step program, but when the first 2 steps was enough for me, surrendering and admitting that you got a problem, and finding the right help. First is repenting, getting up and asking God for sincere repentance. Like, I'm ready, I'm here, I'm where you want me to be. I'm, flush it down the toilet, whatever you need to be. Wash up, get yourself together, and run to His Majesty, right? Admit that you got a problem, and then surrender that whole problem over to His Majesty. I'm putting it on you. You said you the all-powerful, the all, and He gonna help you. But where He put you at, you might not like it at first. Might have to talk to a counselor. You might have to, admit to some people or some situation that you got a problem, and you got to go through some embarrassment and some uncomfortable situation, but it's worth it in the end.
Is it?
Yeah, to see your child look at you with proud eyes, and because they never think you're going, once you're in the bottom, like, they look at you like you're going to be that way forever.
Ever. I'm going to have to take care of him.
And then one day you come and surprise them. You got your weight up, get your hair grow back for the women, and you got your swagger back. And it's like they seeing an angel in front of them, man. That gotta be enough for you to want to change. You don't want to put that kind of pain on your loved ones, you know, at a casket after they told you countless times and tried to help you countless times. And then now the only time you're going to listen is in your death. Allah say in that regard, do you not take lessons from those who came before you? I call that. My dad, per se,
Right.
you know what I mean? His addiction was being abusive to women. He had to have that power. He had, you know, slapping them around, bossing them around, manipulating them, and you know, taking control, trying to be God to women. It led him to catch AIDS. God will punish you trying to play His part.
Yes, He will.
In a way, in man, unimaginable ways. You know, His punishment is severe and it's swift. He says that Himself. You think to deceive Him, but you only deceive yourself. These are ayahs in the Quran, verses from the Quran.
Right.
If we read, we learn how to get out of situations. But you got to take lessons from those who came before you. If you watch somebody die, like I don't understand dope addicts. They watch somebody put the needle in their arm,
And
OD in front of them,
I gotta go get that. Where you get
and
that
go
from?
right in the line and go, what the hell?
Because they feel like they can master. They know the right amount. They understand what their body can take, and they want. Man. Honestly, I think you know, heroin addiction is death. You ever see? You ever go up Kensington and see that?
Man, bro, I went once last year? You know, I've been through there. You know, you go past and you see the tents and you see the colors. But one day, a family and I rode through the whole thing. It's about a 2-mile stretch now, and it's making its way up through the city. But what I saw, man, it's like my heart shattered in pieces. By the time I got to the end of the strip, my face was, my beard was soaked in tears because I saw teenagers, I saw kids, I saw mothers, I saw Muslims, people trying to help their people and begging them to get out of that situation. I saw people with their arms puffed up and their hands from shooting and missing the veins, and it was so dirty out. It looked like hell on earth, bro. And I'm like, wow, don't bring me here no more. I still haven't been there. I don't want to see that. And it's making its way through the city. It is. And most of them people, some of them people are our very own loved ones, man. And don't give up on your people. I want to say that. If it's you, then surrender to God and like I was saying, and give your tender heart. When you're really, really tired, give it to God. But if you have a loved one that you love and they on some type of drug like that, don't give up on them. Yes, tie your camel, be across the street, you know what I mean? That don't mean I don't give them all green lights, but keep praying for them, find the right advice, you know, but don't give up on them, you know, so easily. You know
I say it's easy to just be there.
Woo.
Right? I think that's one of the most easiest things is to just be there in support of your people while they're dealing with addiction. Because it's hard to change someone's mind if you're not from where they're from, right? It's hard to have them go down a road and you don't know why they're going down the road, right? We talked about this earlier, why addiction is so deep for so many people, because they are afflicted by pain and they want to escape.
Their children, your kids, they love them.
Right.
They love us.
Right.
And then to have your child be afraid of you or what you might do, or they got to watch you die or slowly kill yourself.
Absolutely.
Man, I try to put myself in their shoes. Don't do it. Like, you got to care. It's something got to wake your heart up. And the best thing, the way to wake your heart up is really take a really deep look in the mirror at yourself and realize that you need help. I need help. I need to stop. I need, you know, and realize that you're under mercy. Wrapping it up, realize that you still under mercy. And if He wanted you gone, if God ain't love you, He ain't want you here, you would have been gone the first time you stuck the needle in your arm.
First time.
Or the first time you went to the hospital, the first time you was in jail. You know, if He didn't want you, he's giving us ample time to change it. Because once you did, the ultimate reality is death. Ain't no turning back. You got to face Him. Imagine, you know,
waking up and you in front of God and the needle still stuck in your arm, or the pipe still in your hand. You didn't, or subhanAllah.
Or the bottle still in your hand.
Or the bottle, or the gun still in, because some people are addicted to killing other people. You got an addiction. You waking up, you got caught off guard, and now you got facing with, you ain't repent for none of it. And then he show you the future of your behavior. Your children following behind you on the same drugs or worse than you doing. Same addictive behavior. On a side note, time out. Just because you get rid of a drug, the addictive behavior got to go with it too.
It's hard because I found myself after the Percocet, I was addicted to the casino, the gambling. Then after I dropped so it's different addictions that I ran through. So it was weed. When I came home, I wasn't smoking weed. It was a female company.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I went through that addiction. You feel me? And then it was the Percocet.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then it was just one female. You feel me? Like being addicted to that, even though I knew it was wrong, right? Even though I knew mentally she couldn't understand what I was saying and how I was spitting it out. It didn't matter. I dumbed myself down.
An addiction.
You feel me? So recently, since the radio station, I've been addicted to this.
But it's a good thing.
It's a good, and now I'm understanding,
That's a
right?
good
You know,
thing.
being addicted to the radio station and being addicted to
Helping
things that
people
are
do
good
positive, yes.
telling people that they can have
Man.
hope, showing people what they can have if they just believe. Belief in yourself
Tell me the truth.
is
I'ma give you a hug.
paramount, bro. Like,
Nice.
I don't
Say it
think-
again.
Belief in yourself is paramount.
Allahu
I don't think a lot of
Allahu
people understand
The
that
power we have.
believing in yourself, man. Like,
We unique.
Oh my God.
He brought us into existence for a greater
reason,
purpose.
a purpose.
Not to stick needles in your arm.
and he gives you opportunities.
I mean, look, it just, that's not, the guy made us in his own image, right? He made us all unique in his own image to be something great. Not what you looking in, man. So I'm gonna wrap it up with this, inshallah. You ever heard of the man who killed 99 people?
No.
The story of the man who killed, I'm a brief it, inshallah. Allah, bear with me, alhamdulillah. So it's a man who murdered 99 people. I mean, not just murdered them, like his behavior was
Right.
Debo.
Right.
That's
Right.
him.
Right.
But like everybody should, wake up one day. You say, I want to be forgiven. I can't live like this forever, right? Your natural inclination toward your higher power, it kicks in. And so this man wanted to be forgiven. And I'm wrapping up what we're talking about today. And so he went to a guy on the street, per se, somebody that didn't know him. And he went to him and asked him, can I be forgiven? I killed 99 people and this and that. He started opening like a priest, per se. He went and confessed his sins to somebody he shouldn't have. Let's put it that way. And the guy told him, hell no. You tripping, you going straight to hell. Because there's some people, again, they see potential in you or they scared of you. They'll lie to you quick or put you down quick to have you stuck in that situation or worse. Now you going to hell, it's over for you, you crazy. So he, you know too much. I shouldn't have said it to you. He made it even 100. Killed that man too, right? Allah forgive me. I know most of the Muslims, we all know the story, but I'm trying to wrap it up and put it in a tangible, understanding way for us to grab some knowledge from it or some help from it. So he kept going and he found an alim, a purified source, someone who knew. And it's always good to have someone who knows in our family, somebody around you, a counselor, somebody like they got positive, good vibe. That you can sit down and talk to them and they're not gonna hand you no BS. It's always good to have somebody like that in your circle, God willing. So he went to that person, right? An alim, right? A scholar, a learned man. And he went to him and said the same thing he said to the 100th guy that he killed. I lie, I steal, I cheat, and I killed 100 people, murdered. Is there any forgiveness from me? Is there any forgiveness from me at all? I'm looking for forgiveness. He said, who's to stop you? Who in this world or what in this world can stop you from going to his majesty? Like, you got to really talk to people and make sense to give them tangible uluhiyya. that God is real, and you got to make it real to them, not just words on a book. We got to be parents to our kids. We got to be teachers to our students. We got to give them tangible reasons to look for God and look for success and look for the goal. He said, who's to stop you from going between you and your who? Position yourself. Go home. He told him, go home, grab what you can, and move yourself away from what's hurting you. Right? You know, hijrah. Make a migration. Take a sacrifice. Whatever it is, get far away from him, her, this, that, whatever it is. Move far away and go somewhere where majority of the people are on a positive note. I.e., he told him, move to a land where everybody else is worshiping God.
Right.
Go take whatever you got, pack up and go. Don't look back, don't look down. Don't make excuses, because like the bro said, what's making you using it? Everybody gave an excuse to keep on using. He said, don't make no excuse, just do it. Go do it. So the guy, you got to want to change. You got to want to surrender. You got to want to give it up. He went and grabbed a couple pair of drawers, whatever he can muster, and ran and got on the boat and going to the, he wanted forgiveness that bad. He wanted to change that. He wanted this, because time is of the essence. While he was on his way over to the land of forgiveness, let's put it that way, he had a heart attack, massive, killed over and died. Here come the angel from the hell, and the angel from mercy came down, and they going through it about his soul. He never did nothing right. He killed 99 people, just 100 people. This boy, I'm dragging his soul to hell. Angel of mercy, no, he sought forgiveness. Actions are but by intentions. We are taught that as believers. What you intend to do, God, make it, what they call murder with intent. With the intent to kill, you get that charge too. Try to make it tangible real quick. And so they're going back and forth. God in his infinite wisdom, how he does things, he sent the third angel in the form of man. They argued, what's going on here? Oh, well, he never did nothing right, this and that. We dragging his soul to hell. Well, he seeking out mercy, seeking out forgiveness. His intentions was to go do a thing. God is merciful before he's punishing, right? His mercy is before his wrath. Right. Excuse me for talking fast. And so the angel told him, just measure the distance between the two lands, and it'll tell you where his heart was. Right. And so they measured the distance between the two lands, and there's a bunch of narrations, but the one I took from and the one I love is when he had his heart attack, he grabbed his chest and he killed over and he fell forward toward the land of forgiveness. And Allah forgave him for all of his sins.
All of that.
All because of his heart and wanting to change and wanting to surrender and give up the past and not let it hold you down and not let it keep you ugly. Moral of the story is, it can happen for all of us. Even at your last breath, if you really, really, really want to change, God will make a thing happen for you. Humble yourself and give up and surrender your heart to his majesty, bro. And you fall forward like that man did. Keep pushing forward. Keep looking to tomorrow. Have hope. Don't let hope die in you. Allah can forgive you too, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And you'll beat your addiction that way.
Wow. That's deep.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
We got a Jumu'ah Friday. For the Muslims, man, the best day of the week. If this is you, old Muslim, raise your hands to the sky and you already obeying Allah and his messenger. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Barakallahu feekum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah, bro. I had to get that out of my chest.
Yeah, man. It's important. It's important, man, because you can't talk about father humility if you're not willing to be the test subject.
Ooh.
Right?
That's deep.
Can't tell people what they can find and how they can change if you're not willing to tell them what you went through and how you changed your life. So I appreciate you, bro. I think we all have these stories, right? We come from an area where no one ever told us we can do anything. No one ever believed in what we wanted to do. No one ever gave us a different direction, right?
No one ever cared.
I'm not going to say nobody ever cared, because people can care, just not understand how to care.
Yeah,
people can care. They can care about you. He's such a nice guy. I want him to do good, right? But not really get in your face and tell you, bro, you tripping. You feel me? And that's where I am right now with these young men, right? And these young women, man. You're tripping.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's it's gotten so bad where we have 13 and 15-year-olds carrying guns and shooting people, bro.
And taking that same gun into your mother's house, into your father's or your loved one's. Why, if you know it's nothing but positive, or your mom been trying to teach you right all your life, would you bring all that negative energy into your house with you and wonder why the house is so chaotic and never stop to think that you're the problem? I'm the one bringing the devil into my mother's house. Like, some of us got to really stop to think, maybe I'm the one bringing the bad vibes in here. And I got to pump my brakes.
You got to switch up. You got to change.
Yeah.
You got to change.
Definitely.
Find humility and change it, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. Be safe. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. This time I'm going to take my coffee with me.